just so that we can have this for later. Let's see here. And it looks like our last person came on board. So first off, thank you for coming on in. There is a chat box down at the bottom. So if you can hear me, just go ahead and type something in the chat box so that I know that you can hear me okay. Just the number 1 is fine if you can hear me, 2 if you can't hear me. All right, I've got a number 1 in there. And if for some reason you're on a smartphone or something, maybe can't access the chat box, it's okay. I'd assume that you'd either hop on and off if there was an issue. But I'm going to take it that you can absolutely hear me. If for some reason you can't, again, most of you have my cell phone number. I'm going to put that in the chat box as well. And if for some reason you can't hear me, send me a text message and let me know. Outside of that, I'll just assume that everyone here can hear me. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. A few people may pop on later, but no worries. Again, Paul Flowers here with Healthcare Solutions Team. And it's an absolute pleasure to be able to share this with you this evening. This company has been taking leaps and bounds. And as far as I've seen, coming from the health insurance industry from a W-2 standpoint, I'll tell a little bit of my story in a moment. But this is where a lot of the agents have been finding an absolute home and making it a pleasure for them to actually enjoy being in the health insurance industry and feel good about what they're doing. Perfect. All right, I got another that can hear me. Excellent. All right, so let's just go ahead and hop right in. Again, Paul Flowers is my name. My email address is there. Again, most of you have my phone number. If not, it's in the chat box. If you need to ask any questions offline, feel free, though. If there are any other questions, comments, or concerns, to go ahead and put it in the chat box so I can answer while I'm here. Outside of that, feel free to grab a pen and paper. It's going to be some great information. And if there are any questions, again, either in the chat or on pen and paper, we can talk about it offline afterwards. So let's go ahead and just really get started. Healthcare Solutions Team, the company's been around about 11 years now. And though I haven't been with the company for 11 years, I've been in the industry just the same. And I really wish I'd heard about this company a lot sooner. They're actually a plan for everyone is their slogan. And what they are is a company that's for salespeople by salespeople, which makes a distinct difference than having a company that's owned like from a corporate standpoint. It's definitely different when you have people that are on the field giving feedback to the people that are also in the field but just so happen to run the company also, and having them to help make those changes and put those things in place. Here I found a voice, and I found a company that actually listens to suggestion. It's the most amazing thing from a sales standpoint to have that flexibility and freedom, but more importantly to have what's really like a family and a community of people to work with in this industry. So who we are, I mean, that's just a small snippet of people that were on a vacation. Looks like they were at Land's End at the very bottom of Baja, California, or Mexico, actually. Lots of trips that this company puts on, whether it's directly from the company or from the carriers. I'll be on my first company trip next year, so I'll send my own pictures and let you guys know how it goes. Nationwide, the company's spread out. You see the big red thumbtacks? Those are the ones that their actual offices located. So you see their actual physical offices in quite a few states. We're located here in Lombard, Illinois, but again, there are several satellite offices throughout the country. We do sell in all 50 states and have agents in all 50 states. And many of you come from a professional or an insurance background where you have multiple licenses. So we really consider the entire United States our marketing and playground. Now, the way that the company has begun to grow even further was by an acquisition that was made in 2015. Many of you, if you're again in the insurance industry, you may be familiar with GMAC, multi-billion-dollar corporate company that saw what we were doing on the accident and health side, offering a lot of their products alongside many of the major medical plans that were most popular on health insurance side. And they said, well, if this company is doing so well, we really need to have them as a part of our portfolio. The difference is, though, they didn't step in and say, hey, just sell our stuff. They said, hey, we'll step in, but you just keep doing what you're doing because obviously it works. So in January of 15, they made that acquisition, a little over 3 years, almost 4 years now. And as you see it with some of the facts and figures that will come up a little later, the company's been growing as a result of that acquisition. Now, many of you, again, coming from the insurance background, health insurance specifically, when you see a chart that's going up and to the right, that only means good things. You'll see some pretty phenomenal growth in a couple of years. And I'll explain what looks like it may be a little off in terms of the 2016 year and how we're continuously growing in spite of the Affordable Care Act. So starting in 2008, $10.5 million in premium. So premium for, again, if you're not in the insurance industry, it's when you say, hey, I've got a $500 a month premium. You multiply that by 12, that's $6,000 in annual premium. You take whatever that number is and you multiply it by 12. So all those plans total up to about $10.5 million in annual premium. And again, this is just with a handful of agents. So they saw that it was a lot of success to be had in health insurance, went out and recruited a bunch of friends, grew by 4 the next year, and then incrementally year after year after year. And what you'll see was in 2015, of course, the ACA we know came out 2013, 2014, where there seemed to be a bump in premium, but that's because the plan prices were higher. Of course, it got even higher in 2015, but in 2015, that was also the year where a lot of customers said, I'm not going to pay all this money to just have insurance, especially for those people that didn't necessarily need the full-blown ACA plans. I mean, think about it. As a 28, 29-year-old single male that would have no children, no responsibilities, he's just working, that it really makes sense for him to pay $400 a month for a decent plan. Not at all, right? When he's really healthy, he's clearly not having any children. As long as he's not seeing any counselors or therapists, then he didn't need to pay so much. So what happened was, in response to these ACA plans being so overpriced, many of the carriers went on and created other plans that are what's called off-market or non-ACA plans. Just as great coverage, in most cases often offered more coverage, but the premiums were lower, which is why in 2016, you'll see that there was less money and annual premium actually sold. I like to joke around and say that that happened because I came on board and everybody got scared to sell. I actually got contracted with this company in 2016, but started producing in 2017 because I was able to do it when I wanted to, which definitely made a difference, as you can see as the numbers. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't put up all that. But collectively, the agents that are a part of this company grew this premium back from 199 to over 230 million, and we're definitely on track to eclipse that in 2018. Now, what does that mean in terms of revenue? Same thing, you'll see that slow and steady up and to the right, because clearly this is a company that was growing. Right around 2015 to 2016, what you'll remember from that last slide is that the premium went down. So how can the revenue go up? Well, the thing about the Affordable Care Act plans, where those premiums were so high, they were paying virtually nothing in commission, $15 an app or $20 an app per person for the year, as opposed to the plans that were off-market or non-ACA plans, which paid a hefty percentage, anywhere from 20 to 30%. So even though the actual premiums went down, the company revenue went up and up and up. So consistent growth over 35. And again, it's on track to continue to do that. So anytime you're seeing charts of company financials that go up and to the right, again, that's usually a good thing. Now, a lot of times you'll find that you'll have companies that can produce these numbers with thousands and thousands of agents. But realistically, again, just a slow and steady growth. Because, yeah, we can recruit 400 or 500 agents, a month or a year. But it's not the same when you're not actually providing the time. Many of you that come from, again, professional and insurance backgrounds know that there are companies out there that will just bring a bunch of people in, but may not have all the staff and resources to properly support them and get them step-by-step information, kind of holding their hand through the process of, for some, learning something new, and for others, learning new systems. Well, this is why we prefer that slow and steady growth, because it means that we can spend more time with agents helping them to be more successful. And what happens when you walk side by side with an agent and help them to become more successful is that they stay. So 2017 producing agents in terms of retention, the top 10, the top 50, this is 100% retention. That means that 100% of the top 50, again, of these agents, and even though on that last slide, I'll go back for just a second, 877 of them are producing, many of them are producing part-time. So a lot of these, about half of them are part-time agents. So out of the 400 some odd agents that are full-time, you've got the top 100 at 92% retention, and of all writing agents, over 70%. Now, this isn't just for a week or a month or a couple years. You can see at the bottom, these are statistics from January of 2013 through March of 2018. So over 5 years to be able to maintain, out of the top 100 agents, which is over 25% of the actively producing full-time agents, over 90%. I mean, if you all went to school, that's an A. Right? So clearly we have an A for agents that stay, because it's something different about this company, something different about the culture. Now, income does have a lot to do with it. As you can see, again, one of those charts that goes up and to the right, when you have a company that actually pays its agents well for what they do, giving them, again, good cold hard cash, they tend to stick around. So of the top 250 agents, again, that's out of the 400 or something or so that are full-time agents, the ones that have stuck around are earning these incomes on a consistent basis, again, in just their average. That's not including any bonuses or carrier trips and things like that. That's not factored in here, which I will talk about in just a moment. Now, again, an increase when you see charts that are going up and to the right, it's pretty significant. Not many agents I know in this industry are earning over $50 an hour. And again, this is just the top 250 at an average. Now, year over year, that income has increased. So you can see that for the top 250 agents, again, average income is over $100,000. Top 100 agents, it creeps up even more. Top 50 agents creeps up even more. Your top 10 agents are earning over $500,000 a year. And that's just, again, that's fun money. Now, I'm not sure if you know what the president makes, but the president of the United States actually makes about $400,000 a year. So you need all sorts of degrees and community service and some kind of track record of success. Well, the number one agent in our company, Miss Sarah Leb, she used to work at a carnival. Forgive me for saying, but I kind of chuckled when I first found that out. The number two agent is actually the number one group agent, but she's a number two agent overall. She was an accountant. And the number three and below come from all various backgrounds. We've got educators, we've got professionals in different industries that find health insurance as a way to absolutely earn a significant part-time, if not a full-time income. So the way that they've been able to do that year over year, where some industries have been folding up, I'm sure if you turn on the television on any given day, on any given news station, at any given time they broadcast, you'll see that there's all sorts of confusion going on in the industry. Things are changing, new laws are coming out, somebody's bringing in a new bill, proposing it to the Senate, passing it through. And a lot of times these things revolve around industries that are declining. Well, this is the confusion. The change that's happening is creating an opportunity in an industry that, for the agents, is absolutely increasing in terms of value and what's being brought to the marketplace, which are solutions to people's problems. And again, the problems that they have, which the government's helping us because they're marketing for it, and quite frankly, they're creating the problem. The more problems they have, the more solutions we provide, the bigger the paycheck. And that's just a hands down kind of thing. So what does Healthcare Solutions team actually provide to help a person to become successful? Well, quite frankly, it has a lot to do with the technology. Many companies put things in place that are just really basic, but from what I've seen in comparison, Healthcare Solutions team does go above and beyond when it comes to actually providing a system for people to log in and then to actually have success in an organized and a predictable way. So what I'll do is I'll actually just move over for just a second. And this is LeadMaster. So this is the CRM. This actually has all of the agents that are producing on a regular basis, the organizations that are producing, leaderboards, app counts, marketing and lead balance, and just everything you can think of that you would want to have. It's all found in one location. So every week, our company's been producing at an astonishing rate. This is just so far week to date, 1.6 million. I mean, that's not anything that you can shake a stick at, but that number has been increasing again month over month and year over year. But when it comes to leads, I've had questions. Well, how do you guys actually get leads? Well, what happens is the company themselves will provide leads And it's not even money that you have to spend out of pocket. Many times when your leader works with you, they will provide lead credits for you. Others will just go ahead and allow you to get some of the free leads that are available in the system. There's not a bunch of leads available right now. Again, hour and time definitely makes a difference, but anything from the exclusive leads to real-time leads, what happens is once you pick one of those up, you end up opening up the lead. Now I'll just kind of show you what it looks like with one of the free leads here. You open up a lead and you're connected with somebody, their name, address, phone number, and this is a person's email address, right? That's actually filled out a form. You see your date of birth down there is 328, 27 years old, 5'5", 148 pounds. These are people that have gone online and requested assistance with obtaining information about finding health insurance. This happens 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that people are looking for what we offer. And it happens for a number of reasons. Sometimes people lose their job. Sometimes people will get married or divorced or move from place to place. Whatever the reason it is that they need the coverage, we're actually able to help them to find it. So what happens is once you find their information, you basically pick up the phone, or you can use the phone that's integrated with your computer. We do have those as well. And a conversation goes something like this. Hey, Brittany, this is Paul with Healthcare Solutions. Looks like you were looking for information and obtaining health insurance, and I'm just giving you a call to help you out. How can I help you? All right, you start the conversation as such. Once you go ahead and have that conversation, you put your notes in and you save and update that information. It helps you to stay organized and stay on top of all of the leads that you'd be able to acquire while you're working your business on a regular basis. Now, this can be done from home. I know that previous slides showed all the offices that are there. You don't have to go into an office. We do have several offices available, but you don't have to report to anyone's office. You can absolutely do this from the comfort of your own home. But if you did prefer a more structured setting, you've got offices from the south side of Chicago all the way out to Lombard, and again, all those states that had those red thumbtacks. Now, other things that are built in, the technology, auto dialer, that's there. Real-time leads is what I showed just a moment ago. Reimbursement for marketing expenses. In other words, if you want to go out there and put up flyers and do banners and different types of advertising, the company will actually pay you back money, I should say. They'll give you back money that you essentially earned by doing those things. So what happens is every time you put in a sale, the company gives anywhere from $25 to $75 per application that you put in the system. So the average lead, that's called a lead credit. So the average lead credit is about $50. The average sale is 2.7, or we always shoot for 3 or more applications. And reason being is because people don't just buy health insurance. They buy the accident, they buy the critical illness coverage, they'll buy the dental and the vision, and those are all separate applications. So you sell a $30 critical illness plan alongside your medical plan, which may be $150, your dental plan's $50. The client's at $230 a month. Not only does that pay you a hefty commission, but it also, for those 3 different products, can put up to $150 or more dollars in your lead account, and that's money that you use to actually purchase leads. Again, if you don't use it, it can turn into marketing dollars, where you can actually use it to go out and do things like pay for social media marketing, pay for joining referral groups like BNI, actually use radio and print advertising, which we do have several agents that do independently. The company does a great job of marketing already, but some people just like to go above and beyond. And again, we encourage you to do what works. More importantly, as opposed to just trying things, take the time and do what works, because everyone's going to grow their business differently. Some people just use the passive marketing, put out a flyer here and there. Others dig into their sphere of influences. And some people get out there and just go ahead and walk the streets, right? Get out there knocking on doors and reaching out to businesses, small business owners that do need the services that we provide. Because you see, with the small business market, they offer group coverage, and that's typically how people have been used to getting their health insurance. But now, and projected into the future, there's so many people that, because the ACA plans are just going higher and higher and higher in premium, it's making it really tough for small business owners. Our target market for small business owners is 50 and below, but we can absolutely take care of businesses with 100, 200, 2,000 employees. All that's in your back pocket, and we've got the resources to do so. But the marketplace on the individual side, where you can have that one-to-one human interaction, that person-to-person conversation where you can actually feel as if you're helping out a family that you talk to and build a relationship with, that market is exploding. And we just so happen to be poised to take great advantage of the market as more and more people, more and more companies are letting go of their group plans and forcing people to go into the individual market. And again, all that confusion, all those problems that we help solve provides the paychecks that a lot of people in this company, again, are just having a massive success with doing. So the plans themselves, I'm not going to go through every single piece of each plan that's being offered. As you can see, there's quite a bit of them. But with these plans, like the major medical short term, they can see any doctor or hospital. These plans have lower deductibles. Some have co-pays, others don't, depending on the carrier you work with. Average premium here is $250 a month. Average premium for ACA plans is well over $450 to $500 a month, depending on the age. And once you get up there a little bit higher, upper 50s and 60-year-old persons, we're talking $800, $900 a month for an individual, let alone a couple, a married husband, wife, spousal agreement, husband, wife, we serve all markets. They will, be absolutely paying huge amounts for those ACA plans where if they're very healthy, they can save a ton of money on a monthly and a yearly basis by having the plans offered to them that you and I are able to do. So alongside the medical plans, many people, again, opt for the dental, the critical illness, because that's what's going to cover that deductible that all of the plans have, whether it's ACA or non-ACA. Fixed benefit plans are an option also. They pay a set dollar amount towards specific things that a person would use the coverage for. Again, that's more of a training thing, but we just want to have it out there so that you know that there's no shortage of plan options outside of the ACA plans for a person to be able to help out a family or a small business with. Now, when those plans are sold, again, they typically include a dental and an accident critical illness, which is where we say that the typical plan counts about 2.7 to 3. Now, who are we offering? A ton of companies, many of them you've heard of: Mutual of Omaha, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Anthem, Molina, United Healthcare, National General, HII, Aetna. Names that people know and trust. Needless to say, you're not going to come on board and have to know 100 different carriers. You'll likely start off with 3 or 4 just to get comfortable. And some of those niche areas where we do find the need to have certain very specific carriers, you have the option to get those contracts or just work in the states that are hot with the carriers that people understand and know right off the bat. That's the options that you have when you're working with us, because as it says right at the top, we are not a captive company. We're captivating. So oftentimes when I work with professionals that come from the insurance industry, they ask, well, do I have to give up my licenses or do I have to give up my appointments with my current carrier? Not at all. This is here to be an option or an opportunity for you that goes in addition to what you're currently doing. Again, for many professionals to expand their book of business and offer another line if you're in the insurance field to customers. For others, it's something that they absolutely take on full time. And typically there's no conflict of interest with many of the people that are in the field to be able to offer these products. Now, in terms of commission, you say, well, what type of expectations are there? What can I earn from actually taking this seriously and working this business either on a part-time or full-time basis? Again, so these are just an example of 3 clients per week. Now, this isn't something that's amazingly difficult. It's actually fairly easy. I sat down on a Friday and pulled a couple of those leads from the bucket, sold 2 of them, had 2 more call in, sold 2 more. So that was 4 clients that I helped on that particular Friday. But again, everybody's not going to do this full time. Some people just want to do this 2 or 3 or 4 days out of the week, which is perfectly fine. The company is built to work around your schedule. So let's just work on a really part-time basis, looking at an associate agent's first year commission, short-term major medical plan. And again, everything's transparent about this company. So they're telling you exactly what those percentages are. Right? So 15% you're earning on the short term. The accident critical illness called TrioMed for this specific carrier is at 25%, dental's at 15%. And these do increase as you continue to produce business, by the way, but getting started, that's a really solid way to come in and make a pretty significant amount of income. So as you can see, the 3 major medical short terms at about $250 a month, your first year commission on that is $1,350. Now, that gets paid to you, again, in what's called an advance. Well, they'll advance a portion of that, and then they will do an as-earned payment for the following months, again, totaling out to that $1,350. Accident and critical illness policies, again, same scenario. They'll advance you basically half of that amount, and then the rest of it, months 7 through 12, are provided to you on an as-earned basis. Dental, same thing. So this, again, is an example of a person that goes out and just markets 3 plans a week. And with the amount of leads that are available in the system, 3 is a pretty conservative number. But again, it's made to be in addition to, if not fully replace, income that you may already currently be earning. Total weekly income, $2,223 in this example. Again, you're advanced half of that, which is about $1,000 that you get in your account. Again, on a weekly basis, this company pays out, and the rest of that money trickles in month after month. So it's a really good feeling when you wake up and you may not have sold, it could have been an off week. It would have been a vacation. You're a few months in and you took a vacation because things were going well. And what do you know? You wake up on a Monday and you've got hundreds, if not thousands of dollars deposited into your account for work that you did several months ago. So that's the power of that residual income that happens in this field, again, of health insurance. Now, again, retention-wise, assuming that 70% of the business stays on the books, most of our agents sell at much higher retention. But again, sometimes people just need to leave the plan for whatever reason. So these examples allow for that. Now, on a monthly renewal basis, by your second year, from just the renewal plans alone, you're bringing in over $5,000 per month. And again, this isn't in business that you're going out to get year 2. This is business that was there just from year 1. So you wake up and you've got $5,000 deposited into your account, again, over that spread of weeks in any given month. That's a pretty good way to start the month off. You do that for a couple more years, and as you can see, at 5 years, you're 100% vested. So at that point, it doesn't matter whether you sell another plan or not. The company is going to continue to pay you for the lifetime of any of those plans, as long as they stay on the books, of course. Now, bonuses and incentives are here. Some of the first ones may not seem like a huge deal, but doing 7 apps a week, in the examples that we saw, a customer would be a person that has on average about 3 applications. 3 customers a week puts you at 9. That, stretch yourself and get 1 more application. You move from the weekly producer bonus of $100, which is not an amount that's charged back for any reason. You sell 7 apps, you get $100. You do 10 apps, you get $200. Starting November 1st, you do 15 apps, it'll be $300. Again, and that's just extra money. So, it doesn't seem like a lot at first, but this is on top of the commissions that you receive. This is on top of carrier bonuses. And this is money that absolutely makes sense when you see it hit your account on Wednesday, because this is considered a bonus payment, which comes in on Wednesday. And it's just good midweek money to wake up to. Now, Superstart is the next stage that most people hit within, again, their first 4 months. Many people within their first 4 weeks. Again, hitting 50 applications at that point in time gets you $500 in bonus money and also a $500 lead credit, so you can actually go back and reinvest in your business to be able to purchase more leads, and again, have more success by picking up the phone, actually reaching out and helping people. Additional carrier bonuses, I'll touch on that in just a moment, but that next step is $1 million producer. So what that means is when you submit $1 million in business and it's actually paid on, it then is considered what's called NAP, or net annual premium. You put up $1 million in net annual premium, the company sends you a check for $10,000. Again, one time, but it's a $10,000 check that gets deposited into your account. At that point, you're considered a partner, and then you're able to share in the company's actual revenue, which, again, is a little different than most companies because you can produce, especially in a W-2 setting, but they don't necessarily want to give you a piece of the pie. But here, every single person has the opportunity to come on board and get a piece of the pie by just doing what they're going to do anyway, and that is being there and helping people. So I'd mentioned just a moment ago that there were a bunch of carrier bonuses, and this is just a handful of the carriers that bonus money on top of the commission, on top of the weekly bonuses that HST provides, on top of the lead credit. Now, this is just money that's bonus to the agents just for them doing what they do. Some carriers may bonus more than others because we produce a lot more business with some carriers than others, and that's perfectly fine. So you can see for last year, 2017, over $1 million was bonused, and that's again on top of commission, on top of weekly bonuses, on top of any other incentives that are provided by the company. The carriers kick in and say, hey, you're doing great with our products. Let me incentivize you to do some more, and we absolutely take advantage of it when it's there. Now, the partnership bonus that I had mentioned earlier, that goes out to anyone who's an active partner at the time. Again, I'm looking forward to my first partnership check come early 2019, February. And we've got a lot of partners, a lot of people that have been with the company years and years and years that are receiving now bonus payouts every single top of the year. We usually have the convention in February where they're able to come, sit, have a good meal, learn about some of the industry advancements that our company is taking advantage of, and receive checks. That's really the most important part for a lot of people, is getting the checks. So past 3 years, over 400 checks, over $8 million in bonus money that's handed out, and that's comprised of 8% of all of the revenue that comes in. And another thing that I really liked about this company when I first took a look is that they bring in a lot of revenue and they give out just as much. Over 88% of the money that comes into this company is going back out to the agents, with the other 12% taking care of administrative and staff payments, things of that nature. So again, dramatically different than a lot of the other carriers that are there. Let me see. I had someone say they couldn't hear. I'm curious, Angela, can you hear now? I'm hoping that you can. If not, then again, I'll kind of circle back and touch on anything that you may have missed. Now, let's see here. Okay, so the average, again, being over $19,000 for partners. Last year, the top producer, I'd mentioned her by name earlier. That was, okay, great, you guys can all hear perfect. The top producer, Sarah Leb, in February, again, at our annual conference, she got a check for $62,000. Top team leader, Mr. Crivolo, gentleman who we're all part of his organization. He wakes up and he gets a bonus check for $126,000. Now, if I 228, excuse me, if I had known that this type of thing was possible, a couple of years ago when I first started in health insurance specifically, I would have been absolutely breaking down walls to be a part of this company, because anytime you can start the year off with this type of income as a bonus, it makes a difference. And everybody's bonus isn't that big. Some people only get $5,000 to start the year. Some people get $8,000, $10,000 to start the year. But again, I would much rather be looking forward to this bonus for work that I've done, because what that then means is that I'm still getting paid on that work. Again, remember, you get that upfront advancement. Some people choose to take all of their money as earned, but most agents getting started will take that upfront advancement to make sure that they can definitely pay the bills, and especially if they're taking this on as a full-time, where they may be leaving previous income, previous work, then having that advance makes a huge difference. But again, the beauty of our industry is that month after month, year after year, people keep these plans. And as they keep these plans, they keep sending out the checks. So the bonuses are great. And again, when you get yours, you'll be excited just the same. But this bonus is only a representation of the people that we've helped and the work that we've done throughout the year. And again, that definitely makes a difference. So looking at the number of people that are receiving these bonuses, starting in 2011 when they started giving out the bonus, all the way to 2017, it's going up and to the right. Again, when you're seeing these charts that are going up and to the right, it's making a difference. That means that more people, not less, but more people are having access to quality health care that we're providing, number one, and more people are taking this opportunity full on and earning that partnership title, where looking at last year, 2017, over 160 partners. Remember, it's only about 400 people out of the 877 that are doing this full time. So close to half of those people are partners in the company. And now, again, normally you'd see a company that have this many people having success. It's thousands of agents. So they're looking at 5,000, 10,000 agents in the marketing force. And that's great and it's fine and well to put those numbers up there, but that only represents a small percentage. This says that almost half of the people that walk through the doors, that take this seriously, that do the work, that become a partner within just a couple of years, if not sooner. Many people do it in 10 months or less at this point, but they have that success. And that's a small fraction, a large fraction of people that are coming through the doors that are having this success. So that's what we're looking to create, is more success stories all across the country. You can see the team at the bottom left is in Chicago. The top, I believe that's the Boston office. The bottom right, that's one of the St. Louis locations. And again, we're all across the country. We're absolutely operating as a family. I've had more people to reach out and help me when I had questions, from the individual side to the group market. Recently taken on leadership responsibilities in the company, and I've gotten all of my questions answered, all of my texts and calls returned, and all of my emails responded to. And again, just, I'm not sure, again, where exactly you guys' companies lie, but in many cases, you don't hear back from the CEO. You don't hear back from the number one or number two or number three in the company. But I absolutely have those phone calls answered, which is really a great part of how I've become so successful in a small amount of time, is because I reached out and they opened up to me and just poured everything that they could into me in the time that we had with one another. So that to me is the type of family environment that I can absolutely appreciate, where people will do anything they can. I've been invited to offices in St. Louis, Florida, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I know I never heard of it either, but that's where the number one individual and group agents are located, and they just pour into you all the things that have helped them become successful. So that's the type of company that you're looking at. Now, the next steps are fairly simple. If you're not licensed already, getting licensed in clearly the main state, your resident state, and if the more states you have, the better. So if it just so happens that you've got quite a few states, that only opens up more of the map for you to be able to obtain clients in and help more people. Taking care of licensing and contracting, we like to say, it's just a day of fun and excitement, because it's the necessary evils that we need to get it taken care of. Back office support, that's there once you're on board. New agent trainings, typically 2 days, either live or via the web. Now, the statistics are just hands down that over 80% of the people that come through from the in-person side as opposed to the web-based training, it's an 8-2 that in terms of the success that it's had. In other words, 4-1. So the success is 4 times higher on average for a person that goes to the in-person training as opposed to the web-based training. But again, your schedule and things may or may not allow, depending on where you are in the country, and that's fine. Again, we make those accommodations for anybody that's willing to travel. Last step, again, is to go ahead and start off that successful career. So anybody seeing this presentation, again, next steps, just to sum it all up: getting licensed, go through the training. Our next training is actually in this month, in just a couple of weeks. The last one before AEP, again, it's October the 16th and 17th. So if you're interested, I'd say go ahead and shoot a text message, put it in the box. I'll be having conversations with each of you afterwards, anyway, just to confirm interest, etc. And once completing the contracting, licensing, doing the new agent training, you pick up the phone and start selling. Again, we walk you through the processes. We walk you through the CRMs, the phone systems, the leads, how the money works, all of it. So you've got a great understanding of what your next career move, or we like to say as your last career move, can absolutely bring to you when you've got the proper support and success system, essentially the roadmap laid out in front of you. So that's it. That's all we got. For those that are here, if you have any questions, I don't see anything in the chat. I'll go ahead and wait just another minute or so for any questions, comments, concerns. Outside of that, if you're looking at, again, either part-time or full-time, many of you, again, have my number already. Shoot me a text message, say, hey, I'm interested, or hey, I'm in, right? If you're interested, you likely just have a couple more questions to see if it actually makes sense or not. If you're in, you can just shoot a message to me that says I'm in. And again, I'll go ahead and put my number in there. That's 202-704-3740. I can absolutely answer any of the questions that you have about the company, about the strategies that we're taking from a marketing and, absolutely getting out there in front of people standpoint. because we've got some pretty interesting things coming up, not only for the open enrollment period, which, if you're not aware, for the under 65 market, which we primarily serve, is November 1st through December 15th. So this is the best time to go ahead and get involved. And yes, I can send this out to you. So in terms of if you missed any of the webinar, let me know just the same. Outside of that, everyone, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you again. Shoot a message to me, let me know. If you have any questions about it, I'll wait on for just a couple more moments. If you have anything that everyone can benefit from, then go ahead and shoot it to me in the chat. Otherwise, I'll look forward to speaking with each of you afterwards. And you have a great rest of your night. And for those of you that have already said, okay, perfect, that you're in, welcome aboard, welcome to HST, and look forward to working with you soon. Thanks so much.